I see you have little presents for us.
Donna printed stuff off.
Which is great. Thank you.
did a snapshot of what the grants are. There's 2 pages per grant, so you have to flip. But Donna
They're actually stapled together.
provided for you a copy in your folder,
Beautiful.
which is not like mine.
Beautiful.
And because the...
And I made my own kind of little worksheet just to
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
The other thing I was telling the group that I had is, in the past, I used to try to pull this together. It's the history of the grants that have been applied for and given back to, like, the beginning of time.
oh, wow.
So if we want to know who we approved, when we approved, or whatever, I've got approved, declines, and this one's sorted by applicant. So we can see, this one's by year, and this is by applicant, because I think I saw John Porcini's name come up, and I was like, well, wait a minute, we've seen that before. What
Many
was our
times, yeah,
decisions
yeah.
before?
Right,
Yeah.
because I had actually wondered about that one, so thank you.
So, I didn't, you guys don't have this, because I was just doing it now. But I can send it to you guys, everybody. In fact, John is the person that I highlighted in here as to, he's applied a bunch of times, and he's gotten grants and hasn't, so. Anyways, so if we want to look somebody up, we can see that, we can do that.
Okay, great. And thank you, everybody, for the updates and things like that today. And thank you again for working things through with Katie on Sunday, which is, it's great. I was working it through with another gentleman who applied. He reached out to me
She
on
was
the
getting
phone.
to a very strange place that I have not seen before.
She was texting me this weekend, help, and
I said, give me your login, let me see what you're doing, and I was like, oh, this isn't normal. It brought her to a place where the screen dumped her into 3 options, 3 of 5 options, or whatever. You had to hit this home button up top, and it brought you back to give you the options to do a local cultural council grant.
yeah.
I don't know why it brought her to these 5 options that didn't apply for her at all. They were all gone by.
Huh.
They were nothing that she would want to see, and she
Yeah.
definitely didn't want to
It
be
was
seeing
weird.
it.
I tried it, and I had 2 options, individual and organization, and that was
I
it.
I saw that, and I was like, okay.
Right? I don't know what the problem is,
So I
Yeah.
said, go hit that home button. The middle option will be local cultural council. That's where you want to go. And she says, did they change something? And I said, the system isn't very user-friendly.
It's not.
No.
It's
Well, maybe that's why they extended the date by a couple days, because they said there was
they
something-
said something wasn't working.
Yeah,
There was a
something was
technical
wrong with
challenge
the...
on the back, and they were having...
Yeah, I wonder if that
Yeah.
was it. People were like, where am I supposed to be? And
Maybe that was part of
couldn't
it.
go,
Maybe.
couldn't go forward.
But
Maybe.
anyway, I appreciate all the attention. Like I said, I spent time on the phone with the other new gentleman, both on Saturday and Sunday. He called, he was like, do I have to have a venue? I said, no, we'll get
Oh,
to that.
she wasn't even close to a place with a venue. She
Oh, yeah,
was-
no, this guy, and his application, when I saw it, he had a lot down there, and I was like, wow, you put a lot of effort into it, considering you were doing it on, like, Sunday.
Uh-huh.
He had a
Yeah.
lot there. But I will, as I said, I'm not really totally used to this. I will call us to order. And our meeting has officially started. Donna, thank you for the minutes.
You're welcome.
So we reviewed our minutes, we looked at our money, an update on recent things, and I definitely have some questions about outstanding people. We talked about logging into the Mass Cultural Council site, but that's not really pertinent anymore. And we pretty much went from there. We talked about what we have for our availability for money. And Lori, I will get you the last 2 Facebook posts that I made. I did the last one a little bit differently.
Does it have, do you have a receipt with it? Because I printed off all the Facebook posts that said $14, 14.
Yeah.
I
Right,
printed
and
that up.
yeah, I need to, I need to have
she
my husband go into the
balked at
visa
all
bill.
of that.
Right.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I even sent her a copy of what the administrative expenses were supposed to be for, so that she could see that it could look like there might not be a receipt associated with some of it, but it wasn't.
I will say they are working. My wife and my son both are on Facebook, and they got the
Oh,
last
good.
push you sent.
Oh, good.
So it is being reached.
Good. It didn't totally, for spending more money, Facebook offered me, and I'm sure there's all kinds of businessy things. They said, you know, for more money, for $35, we'll like mess about with it a little bit in terms of your targeting and things, and you'll get better results. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And so they said we did get, so I spent $35. They said we reached 825 people. And then in terms of, then they break it down for me like I showed you last time.
Yep.
This time we actually had more engagement, so I'm not sure exactly what they did. So this time we had 15 engagements.
But you changed our center, right, on this one?
I didn't really change very much.
Oh, I thought
No.
you were moving it to Northampton, or?
Oh, I did spread it out and a little bit different because unfortunately, like I said, it makes a concentric circle, and that generally either sends you into New Hampshire or Rhode Island or
Island.
Connecticut, and I don't need any of those. So I changed that a little bit, but Facebook was doing some stuff too, hopefully not too evil. But the post engagement was 15. It said we actually had 11 link clicks, which is good, and 2 reactions. So I don't know if that changed applicants, but just in terms of
I
visibility.
probably did some of those,
One of those is me.
and more than one of them is probably me, and
We're
I
feeding our
know.
own stats, right?
Right, no, but that's okay, that's okay. I mean, I think more than anything, I think we're looking for visibility more than anything right now. And just to kind of say, we do have a cultural council. My boss actually has a second home in Hubbardston. And so she lives in Worcester, and she has a second home on the lake.
Comet Pond.
Not on Common, on Moosehorn. And so I said something about being on the Hubbardston Cultural Council, and she made a joke.
I have an idea for one of them when we get to the actual grantees applications. I have an idea for one of them in
Great.
terms of exposing us and getting advertisement out.
Beautiful.
I'll-
Okay.
excellent.
I'll point it out when we get there.
Great. So I think, I think we've pretty much determined newspapers don't really get us what we need. I think,
Not if you have to pay for it. If we
No.
get that free stuff,
but yeah, I think pretty much the downtown boards and Facebook, and I think we've all noticed that the Hubbardston People site on Facebook really seems to get a lot of traffic. So I think that's important. So that's where we're at on that. We talked about field day, and some pluses and minuses. I don't think I really have any more updates on that. And so did we find out more about the African Arts Program?
she just texted me tonight.
Wow.
She said that there's, I just want to read it as opposed to paraphrasing. She said, the Artist in Residency program, which is African Arts, is attending our PTO meeting tonight. I'll have an update for you after if that's okay.
Oh, okay.
I said that would be wonderful. And her next comment was really trying to get this program back in the school. It was awesome when we had it pre-COVID. And I just said pre-COVID. I mean, COVID, everything took a hit with COVID. So.
Right, yeah.
So
Okay.
at least there's some communication going back and forth on that.
Great.
She's working on it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And I got very confused, as did everybody, about the reimbursements for the Lions Club, that essentially they were going to have two.
Oh, I didn't check the mailbox.
Oh, yeah, there might be something in the mailbox. Yeah.
Do you mind if I run over and just
No,
see if there's any?
no.
that's
not
like-
at all.
Yeah, should have done that when I went over there.
Because they're going to have a reimbursement for the animals and also for,
What else did they sponsor?
they did,
It was a hands-on,
it was a hands-on thing, but we were the animals. Then we did the crop dusters and we did Matt York. They may have,
It was just, I don't know what else they had, but it was 2 reimbursements for the animal adventures that Joyce had to.
Right.
Yeah, I emailed her and reminded her when she applied for the reimbursements, she had to fill out 2 reimbursement forms because it was from 2 different years.
right, yeah.
So she said, oh, okay, thank you, and I'll take care of it.
I'm sure she will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. She's all over everything, and I know she's back working, so.
Yeah, she's temporarily, just through the elections, I
Looks like there
guess.
could be quite a few.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oh, wow,
So,
okay.
Yeah, she said last
there's,
weekend she was going to try to get to it, so hopefully she did.
Harry Hamlin, is it Harry Hamlin?
The Pied Piper guy, yeah,
Matt
the Pied
York.
Potter. Okay, yeah,
Mittens, MITAS,
that's crop dusters.
and this must be
Joyce.
Joyce.
Oh, great.
So take care of these this weekend.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, that's good. That'll help.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah,
I
no,
would've gone
that,
and left, and this was a fine opportunity to pick stuff up, especially
Right.
since tomorrow I can't do it.
yeah, no, that's great. And Donna, did the Build a Flag people get back to you?
Nope. That's why I have a big X.
Okay.
Twice I emailed her, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, just a simple email. It's the same contact person, the same. She applied again.
Right, and could you refresh my memory, how much did we offer to grant them? It was a chunk of money.
It was quite a bit. It's not
It was like
down
maybe
here, of course.
$500-600 or something.
Well, what is she asking for this year? Let's see.
Fair amount.
Yeah. She's asking for 800 this year, so it might have been somewhere around there, maybe 6 we gave her.
It was like
I
5 or
don't
6,
have-
I
Do
think.
you have it?
No, that's the wrong one.
I think I have it someplace.
I see 464, unless,
464.
Okay,
yeah, unless I'm reading crooked.
okay, all right.
I think we gave them 464. Probably was not,
That's what probably we had left.
yeah.
Because it's kind of an
I
unusual
think,
amount of money.
right, I think it was something that we had left. Okay, so we still haven't heard, okay.
No, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my little note here, never returned 2 emails regarding last year's event.
And we talked a little bit about a banner. I think based on everything else we have going on right now, I think I just want to put that into the parking lot.
There's a big truck out there.
Oh, I thought it was just the AC.
Or a school bus, maybe it's a school bus.
That school bus comes really late.
Yeah.
I've seen it come when I'm coming over from work.
Mm.
But I think we'll just hold off on that for right now, just because we have a lot of other business. But I think I did update everybody that our contact at the Mass Cultural Council, Haneko, gave me a long answer, but the answer was pretty much yes.
Bottom line.
Bottom
Yeah.
line was yes.
Yeah.
A selectman may, apply for a grant.
Can be
And she
a
did.
grant or a partnership.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's either one. I
Either
think.
do either or.
Yeah.
You can partner up, or she can submit a grant if she wanted
Yeah.
to,
Yeah,
like she did.
She did,
this
yeah.
time.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Did you
we
check out
talked
Haneko?
about,
Anyone checked out Haneko? Looks like she's 25 years old.
I've
So
seen
she's
her
really
during a
gung-
webinar.
Gung ho, yeah.
Yeah, when I went on one of the webinars, and it was actually very good, and it had all the cultural council contacts.
Yep.
And it's much more diverse than we see in Hubbardston. It's extremely diverse group, but you get the sense that each of these kind of grant manager contacts, that they each have, I don't know, somewhere between probably 20 and 30 towns. That's my
Wow.
guess. I'm not exactly sure.
I was thinking about the fact that Lisa Simmons is still there. She was our contact when we started as this group that we have now. And when we were kind of flailing around trying to get our feet on the ground, she offered to come out and talk to our group or help support us in any way. And I guess I'm wondering if we have questions, like we were, specific questions where one question will beget another question, will beget another. And it's around this program, this whole concept. Maybe we can have somebody come out and talk to us, and we can ask them those questions, as opposed to one. It just
back
gets
and
a little
forth.
difficult.
If we even have queued up stuff for the individual league, they could find the time, come out and.
Yeah, it
Or
could
we
be
could-
helpful.
Perhaps, depending on their location, they're a
Zoom.
group of people that are heavily Zoom.
Yep.
So we could potentially do that too, although I don't know if the town has a Zoom account. I mean, like everybody else, I have my own Zoom account, but
The town does.
it limits me to
40 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little bit limited, but the cultural council itself could probably set up the Zoom. And I'm sure they have a professional Zoom account.
So it's another option if we get bogged down in the details of trying to move something forward.
We can ask if they have an account that they can host the meeting on. That way, we don't have to,
Yep.
reach out.
Yeah. She seems very nice, but yeah, they're all like 10.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, okay. All right. And so those are the minutes. Does anyone want to make a motion that we accept our minutes?
I motion to accept the minutes as they are, as they stand. Anyone second that?
I'll second that.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Sorry. Okay. And what I would like to do is also spend a few minutes talking about member status. In terms of, and I know Jonathan and Lori, you are champions of reading all the rules and things like that.
Not lately.
How many, we have 5 open seats? Is that what we're granted? We have 5, correct?
We're required to have 5 members on the board.
We're required to have 5, okay.
Yes.
And if we have 4 attending, we still have a quorum, because you have to have 3 out of 5.
Correct.
So we need a 5th member at this point in time. Okay. All right. Now, if we don't have 5, but if we have a quorum at a voting meeting, this is all still within our, whatever you call it. This is still okay,
I don't have the answer to that.
right?
I don't know that it is still all okay.
Right.
Was there a time a few years ago when we only had 4 members? And
Well,
kinda
when we
carried on?
started, it was us and Bill, and then the young lady who went to have the
Megan.
baby, Megan.
But there was a crew of people that had applied. I remember I was an alternate to begin with.
So was I,
So was
yeah.
I, yeah.
So there were a bunch of, they had put out a call for members for the Cultural Council. I think they got like at least 11 or 12
Yeah.
responses. And so at that point, I don't think we've ever fallen below the 5. So
Well, I think technically we never saw those people. I think they were accepted, but we never saw them. 'Cause it was.
They
it
didn't
was-
attend meetings.
Right, because it was us and Bill, and then we had Sarah, so then we were, and then all the other people dropped away. And then we were.
When Megan was going to step down, we recruited Sarah.
Right. Although I think there was a lag between
Yeah.
getting
So on
Sarah.
page 3 here it says 5, but no more than 22. But that does not, to form a council, that does not mean that you need 5 to vote. So I'm going through right now to find
Okay,
about the
okay.
voting
So-
part of it.
We're okay.
okay, so I think we're okay.
I just do.
My hunch is that as long as you have 3 or a quorum, then you should be able to. But I need to double check that in here.
Right. And I think, in terms of proper updates, I'll update in like November or something like that. But I think I will put out I'll ask the town to send a message out that we are looking for new members. And if anybody has any questions, they can give me a call.
I still have this message from September where I got back to Melissa, and I have not heard back from her, but I don't know if somebody else could reach out to her. My days,
Sure.
I'm going to be dropping balls and stuff here, and
Sure.
she asked to be a member recently to join the council.
Yeah, I think that's the same woman that got in touch with
Bill?
Bill, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've contacted her as well, but I'll reach out to her.
That would be
And also
terrific.
have the town send something. I also think at this point in time, to bring in a new member
Yeah.
it would be a little,
I guess there's no good time.
there's no good time.
You can bring in folks to participate, just not necessarily vote. So you can,
Okay.
right, as Bill had pointed out, I think in one of the meetings, that you can bring in extra people if you want. They just can't vote, until they
Right,
take the position.
right, right.
When does your term end?
We're done
All
in
three of us
June.
end at the end of
Yeah.
June.
Oh, geez.
It's you. You're on.
So I will keep putting out the word, and I think it's important that it's a notice every few months, because somebody who maybe didn't see that notice, or maybe thought they didn't have enough time, or maybe didn't know what we were all about,
Okay.
may suddenly say,
And we
"Oh,
can talk about if we want to set up at the fair again this year, because that's where we did some
That's a good
recruiting.
time
I
in the
think we need to
past.
start tooting the
Yeah.
horn now, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
yep,
yeah, as much as we
I
can."
think you're right.
Yeah, I'll keep the drumbeat
Okay.
going on that, and we'll go from there. And all of your replies to our member who decided it was not appropriate for her were very nice, very kind. And I don't think there was anything we could have changed.
Oh, no. And I tried to simplify it for her, because it really is very simple what we do. But I think she thought she had to get involved with everything else, all the crap that,
Right.
that goes on.
Right.
And when it's just basically, we need your input, what you think about different grants. Do you like it? You don't like it? What don't you like about it? What do you like?
I still think I overwhelmed the heck out of her, so.
Well, I like Billy said, right in the beginning, she had the deer in the headlights look.
But
she
I
made some
was-
statements on meeting 1 that surprised me, that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think alluded to the outcome.
She said she'd rather be out, like with the Lions Club, be out building,
Right. Go do
handicap
this and
ramps
come
and-
back here.
yeah, stuff like
don't
that.
blame her,
And
yeah.
not so much,
And I know when I first started doing it, it's like, what are we doing? But then once you get your head wrapped around it,
Yeah.
and
It's
it
not-
was
I guess
like
I'm just more
easy, yeah.
disappointed in the fact that I didn't know her before the meeting, and she seems like a really interesting lady.
Oh, sure,
And
yeah.
I guess it's just a lot of disappointment in the fact that convince her to stay because I just wanted to get to know her more personally. I'm serious. She just seemed like the places she's gone, the things she's seen, the things she's done, it seemed like an interesting
Yeah, she would've-
person
she
to
would've
get to
been
know
great.
more. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
a lot of what I went through probably was just disappointment in the fact that that opportunity wasn't going to be there.
Yeah, but it's nothing, I don't think it's anything you did or said or anything any of us did or said. She just
I think it
wasn't-
was
yeah, it
just
just
not a
wasn't-
great setup.
That was the first question I asked myself when I heard it. I was like, oh, what did I say?
Yeah. Did I scare her away?
It's
Right,
hard.
exactly. Did I scare her away?
Do you think, just in terms of getting the word out, I'm wondering if perhaps we can put up some kind of notice at the library? If I can talk to Chris at the library?
That would be a perfect place to recruit, I would think.
Because I would just
Mhm.
think that people are in and out of the library.
Yeah.
You
How
can
about-
even, if you wanted to, if we're interested in bringing in more younger members.
Very much so.
One of the. That's not what I meant.
That's okay.
I'm just trying to
Everybody's
think of the right
younger
word.
than us right now.
The Hubbardston Center School is another great place
Right.
for advertising. You can actually, with the clause of the bomb, expunging Quabbin from any from the communication being affiliated with it, you can actually blast stuff out with the kids. They come up with a folder every day
Right.
with their homework, with
Oh, right,
assignments,
right,
with
right.
notifications.
Yeah.
And I've done this with youth groups before, where you can actually blast out send home a flyer if you want.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
and that would be a good opportunity if
Yeah.
we're looking for more parents
Let's
involved.
also keep that in mind if we do have some of these things towards kids that are geared
Yes.
towards kids, as that would be perfect
Yeah.
to. Somebody's mentioned it before. There's things they stuff in their binder, their backpacks, when they go home. But
And the
that
only
would-
thing you have to pay for is the paper. It's
Oh, and
free.
then you
don't have to
just
pay
bring it to
anything
them
the-
and they'll just stuff it for you?
Yeah, you don't have to pay anything to the district. You just print it out. Well, you have to get it approved first by their office person over in Barry there.
Mm-hmm.
But once it gets approved with the right criteria, you hand it to the principal,
Mm-hmm.
and she will make sure it gets out to each of the grades that you want to target.
just curious, how many copies did they ask you to make?
200?
Last time I did it was 300, and that was for Cub Scouts a few years ago.
Okay.
Okay,
But it is a very cheap way of getting the word out without having to
Right.
to the right people.
to the right people. Correct.
I'm wondering on something like that if we should wait until after the new year. I think with Halloween and then Thanksgiving right on top of that and Christmas right on top of that, I think families and parents of children will be going, no more, no more. And I'm wondering if we should definitely do it, but maybe wait until, and maybe do it once in January and then again maybe in March
Yep.
or something like that, just kind of in terms of where the school year's at.
Yeah.
If that sounds okay. So we'll definitely revisit that. That would be great. Flyers at the school. Okay.
And if there's events that we do know that we've got scheduled dates for, I would think,
Yeah.
that would be aside from.
Right. That was the idea, because a few of the grantees' applications were actually for the center school, and idea came up, well, if we're going to be assisting with the finances for that, well, can we piggyback off of that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. So we've talked about member status. We've talked about new grant reimbursement requests, which you have. Outstanding awarded grants, and so we still are waiting for other ones to come trickling in and get a little bit more information. And we've talked about strategies to increase awareness. So I think that is good. Is there any other new business or any other concerns that people have right now? I think I'm good. Okay. All right.
The only, it had to do with the grants, which we're going to jump into. I wish I had the energy to contact Flo and see why she didn't submit this
Oh,
year.
right, yeah. I wonder
Right,
why.
and the other thing that I just realized, just talking and saying the word the library, we didn't receive any grant requests from
the
any,
library.
except for the pastel night man.
He's in this year again. I saw it
Yeah.
on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've gotten like reading programs and things like that requests, and we did not get those from the library this year. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of looking at the grants, I think our focus has always been fairly clear that we prefer to look at, in terms of winnowing these down, we prefer to look at applicants who are local to the community. And I also think we like to look at balancing between programs for younger folks, middle people, and then older folks, and to kind of look at how diverse we can make the programming, and also in terms of, well, this is like an art project, this is music, this is
Different disciplines, yeah.
different disciplines. So we like to look at that too. And lastly, of course, we're looking at the money. And what we've done a lot of in the past, as Donna and Lori are well aware, is that we've looked at people's money and then we've said, well, we like you, but we have X amount.
Yeah.
And so that always becomes a big topic of conversation in terms of we like them, but maybe for less than they're looking for. And I think there is a question on the grant application that says that, right? That if
Yes.
we can't give you the money, what will you do moving forward?
Right.
And as, in terms of our reviewing these projects, many of them are local, some are not, but with as much, as they say where I work, as much positivity as possible, is a good thing. So, does everybody just want to just go right down the list? Which would be great. I'm just going to use, and I think in the past, Donna, have you kept track of kind of the money?
Yeah, usually I do keep track of, and on the sheets that Lori put together, the second page has the amount they're asking for, so I just kind of threw that on.
Would have been a good thing for me to move that column.
Yeah, in that column there, I threw the
Right,
amount they're
okay,
asking
great,
for.
thank you.
Just so, I mean, we'll be flipping and flipping enough as it is, but that just, made it a little easier.
And Lori, thank you. I have my own little
Yeah,
cheat
no, that's
sheet.
fine.
It looks like that, but it's not nearly as pretty. And everybody was able to get onto the Cultural Council site
Yeah,
and wade through the applications and things like that. Now, so you don't get an actual panel book until, so the panel book was available today, is that correct?
I don't know if it was available, I think I went
Tomorrow,
out,
I
I think it's tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So we couldn't generate it to get the full information. You can go in and look at each one, and each one that you look at has all the information.
Right.
But we didn't have something that we could download to work off of, that we could take all that key information, like, how would you support this if you didn't have enough funding? And that information was not in the summary. So that information isn't on the sheet that I pulled together.
And something that I find interesting when I'm looking at these grant applications is what other towns or what other cultural councils did you apply
They
to?
applied.
And sometimes I'm not sure if all that information was revealed, but anyway. So,
I'm gonna jump back real quick.
Yes.
There's nothing else in here about the voting part. It just says you have to have a minimum of 5, no more than 22. We're
Okay.
gonna have to contact Bryce, Brace is the person's name?
It's Haniko. I think her first
Her
name is
last name.
Haniko.
Okay, we'll have to contact her on clarification for that.
Right.
But I believe as long as we have an odd number, or if it's an even number, if it's a unanimous vote, or not unanimous, but majority rules, then
Right.
we should be able to. But we'll
Yeah.
have to double check on that.
I can reach out to her, and see what she says.
I think the number shifts if there is a requirement, because each town will have a certain slot, like we have 5, a larger town or city may have 10.
Yeah.
So that
Right.
number may
Sure,
change,
yeah.
and that's why we probably
We
need to
also
follow up
did
with her.
ask about,
Yep.
in the past, about increasing the number of our council to, because we had potentially a lot of alternates,
Mm-hmm.
to 7 versus 5. And that also, though, increases your quorum number. So we decided at that point that we wanted to stay 5. And, so that's also another possibility, is so that if you had 7 people, everybody could have a voting right, as opposed to being an alternate that sits in on the meetings.
Are we penalized for not filling a slot on the council? So
I
if
would've-
we're allotted 7, we can only fill 6. Is there any ramification for not putting in the 7th person?
I think every town,
But
well,
I think you still are, if you said 7, I think you still have to have a quorum of 5.
Correct. According to this,
But
it's
I-
a minimum of 5. But so my point is that if we only come up with 6 out of the 7, even though there's a minimum of 5, are we still okay? Or is there any
I don't know the
Okay.
answer to that. I think that's,
the question for them? Yeah.
I think we're okay. All towns, with the exception of a few,
Yeah.
I think have a hard time maintaining people on boards. Although I think on it was interesting on the webinar I went to, I think there are some boards where they've had fighting and things like that. And I can, if we need to, I know they also have a provision that says if you have someone who's termed out, you can bring them back. Maybe we can bring your friend back.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's fair to him.
I don't know if it's fair to him.
I mean, if we really need somebody, I'm sure he'd come back.
Right, yeah, so, I mean, that, if we're really, if they are hard and fast about it,
Yeah.
I think then we would have to
Yeah.
go with that option to say, in the moment, we've done our due diligence to bring people forward. This is where we're at.
Okay.
So I will reach out and see.
I dreaded saying those words.
Yeah, no, even tonight, he said, "Oh, give everybody my regards." I said, "Well, you still can come if you."
I think he's trying to probably figure out how to make a clean break. It's not easy to step down from a position.
No.
It really isn't. And
It's very
so
hard to do.
I think I think a clean break has always makes it easier to step
But,
back.
I mean, we have how many meetings, really? It's only a few. It's not like anything else he's got hanging over his head. He's got so many other things going on.
But I appreciate that, and hopefully that won't need to happen, but that would be, I think, a fallback plan
Yeah.
if the state says you're out of compliance.
It wouldn't
know.
be fair for him if,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And Chronicle, again, is repeating the show they did in August about, it was Wheels On. I don't know if you.
Oh, okay, when's it
Yeah.
on?
It's on tonight again. And the last time it was on, it generated so many more tour requests.
wow.
We're into February, and they're doing.
That's wonderful.
Patrick does the ones during the week, Tuesday, Thursday, and at this point, they're putting groups together, which before they were only doing maybe one family at a time,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Now they're doing, if they can talk people
Wow.
into coming together.
Wow. They repeat that, I just want to put a reminder on my phone. They repeat the Chronicle on MeTV.
Oh, right, yeah.
At 10:30 the next night. So
Oh,
if it's
okay.
on tonight,
It'll be on MeTV tomorrow night.
it'll be on
Yeah.
tomorrow night. So
Yeah, they did, it was just they were here for like 6 or 8 hours, and it was only about a 5-minute, maybe 4-minute, 5-minute thing they did about the cars. It was
Right.
good, they did a very good job.
but you get that level of
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So Tuesday, Thursday, like today, they were
Well,
three
maybe the
different-
grannies generated something too.
Oh, the grannies, yeah.
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, the evangelical church had the showing of Friday night, and we all went. There were probably 50 or 60 people there. and
Wow.
there was
That's
a little-
wonderful.
Yeah, it was really interesting. It was fun because they went they went to the diner, they went to Capri for a tour.
Oh, good. That was a good one to remember.
And then they went to the alpaca farm, which was hilarious because they opened the barn door and the alpacas came running out. It was, oh my God, it was so much fun to see that segment because they
That's
were right in
wonderful.
your face. You know, they
Yeah.
love to kiss you.
Oh.
It's just unbelievable. And then they came to our house, and actually about 20 minutes of the hour, they were with the cars. It was good. They did a really good job. They're characters. They really are. And they're having a great time. What
Yeah,
a great
no,
idea.
it's a great idea.
Yeah.
No, I think it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it's good for them.
But I'll reach out and more to come. If they basically say that's unfortunate, find somebody, but you have a quorum, carry on, then that is what we will do. If they say you're out of compliance, then I will say,
Lasso.
well, then this is what I'm going to have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
I know somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. All right. So we'll just go write down the list and look at these people. I think, Jonathan, we've seen Jay Manquito before. Have you ever seen him at the school?
Who?
The first one, the tools guy, the first one on the list.
Manquito?
Yeah.
I have not seen before, but he's actually the one that I was interested in when I was looking through all these. He actually
Donna's
popped
attended.
out.
Yeah, a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
maybe 3 years now,
Okay.
I don't know. And he was really great. He
So
really
you-
did a good job and engaged the kids.
Yeah,
They were
he
loving
budgeted for
it.
2,400, and he's asking for 8, and I think full time for 3 days, K through
It's-
5.
Well, yeah.
I think that's a no-brainer if we can afford in our budget to.
He's a definite yes for me. So
Okay.
He
let's
was-
keep him on the list. And if at the end when we find out
Yeah.
how dollars get spread,
Yeah.
we'll see what we can offer him.
Yeah.
And I might want to see what we spent last time on him too.
Yeah,
think
don't
he was just a one-day
it
thing
was
the
a
last
couple
one.
hours, yeah, but then it's travel time and all that, but.
Yeah, I'd ask that question with him though because he had on his budget 3 days.
Yeah,
and it
that's
has 3
very
in the
different, yeah.
That's
summary.
That's
Even though
curious.
he's
And you
asking for
actually went and saw
300.
him, right, Donna?
Yeah.
You
yeah,
saw him
he was at the
interacting and
school,
stuff
yeah,
like
he was
that?
in the cafeteria, and he had all kinds of,
Yeah.
all kinds of things, tools and blocks and whatever for the kids. And he worked with them, showed them how to set them up, and then he was like.
They were in the
"Okay,
gymnasium or something?
Yeah, I said
Or
cafeteria.
cafeteria,
Yeah.
sorry.
One or the other, yeah. And
Yes,
but he
the-
was great. He was.
Does he indicate that he will do the legwork to reach out to the school
I
to
think
set
he
up
did
the
last
time?
time.
He must, yeah.
We didn't do it.
Okay, so, I
If
mean,
you want, I can pull it up and.
as long as he's gonna be the legwork guy to set up a time and organizing with the school and things
I
like
mean,
that.
he had, we didn't, I know we weren't involved with that.
Right,
so-
he just went ahead and, right, that's what we like to see. So we'll give that a yes. We may need to look at the money again
Yep.
as time goes on. Then the second one, this coloring book, my initial thought was no.
Yeah. I have an X
I'm not sure
also.
what
Really?
the rest of you thought. It's
Yeah.
not a lot of
I
money.
had a question mark. I was just curious if they had any scenes from Hubbardston. I mean, or
I was curious on what it is. The summary did not, for me at least, did not project the vision.
No.
And you know, if we want to pursue, we will probably need more information from the individual. At least from my standpoint, I didn't see the vision from the
Right.
subject.
No.
And I was also just kind of,
Whether it's a complete book, that's, what is,
What is it?
Right.
Is it like a story walk where you're walking from station to station? Is it a book that's already put together? Are the children actually coming to participate in making a book? And-
right, or, yeah, is she looking just for money to put a book out?
Yeah, and unfortunately, the description that I read did not include any of that.
Which is unfortunate, because
Yeah.
maybe there's more in the, I guess I could bring up, do you
well,
want to
what
put
I-
a no or a question mark on this and keep moving on?
I gave it a no. One of the reasons why I gave it a solid no was because in part of her description, she said the following towns will be highlighted. We weren't there.
Well, that's why I was wondering, she just says, and
Northern Worcester
products
County.
from, yeah, well, she says Lunenburg.
Lunenburg,
It sounded like, it sounded very that area centric.
Maybe.
So that was my reason for just saying no, but if people would, if we want to give it a maybe with more information. I mean, it's not a huge amount of money, but I just didn't quite get it.
So
Jonathan, your gut feel on this?
I would need more information to give an answer on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Not enough to.
Yep. I guess, I'm wondering, are you looking at the grant online now?
I am. It says in the budget line item, production costs for Lunenburg's illustrations and historical research. That doesn't describe exactly, based on the budget, what it is. If I go back to the overview again, Scenes from the Heart New England is a coloring book for youth, but also for families and adults, showcasing the people, places, products of towns of northern Worcester County. Lunenburg will have multiple pages, including the town gazebo, as well as vintage scenes from Whalen Park. So it does not say, is this a service? Is this something that,
Is she doing production of a
that she's
book?
producing something that's about Hubbardston?
Part of it is, if she wants to get a grant, she has to also let us know what she's doing. And
Correct.
it's like the grant isn't really written very well.
Correct. And when I was looking through all the grants today and yesterday, that was one of the things that kept in the back of my head is, does the summary, the overview, get to the point? What are you presenting to me? And a few of them actually put quite a bit of verbiage in it, but didn't really tell me what it was. So I had a hard time inferring right what they were asking.
So do we want to just make our lives, just take it off the list, or do we want to assign somebody to follow up on this? It's got to be we either take it off the list or somebody does some follow-up.
Oh, I missed that. We have a new application in there. We have two. We have three.
Three,
Oh,
yeah.
those came through, yes. From the
Yeah, I
lines?
didn't even look at those.
Oh, okay.
I think it's not really,
Hubbardston
where time
related?
is short,
yeah.
I don't think it's really worth our time.
Okay, I'm gonna say, well,
Given the number of applications, I think
Yes.
that, if we do need to find a place for money, then we can go back to it. But
or if we don't have enough kids stuff or something, but let's Johnny Appleseed. I've got this as a, this is different than what you guys intended.
Right, this isn't
Oh, yeah,
the
no, this
fair.
is the-
No,
this
this
is
is
the-
different.
This is just collecting money, in my mind, to upgrade the visitor center.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, yeah.
in
and-
Fitchburg. Is it Fitchburg?
And
Yeah.
it's in Lemons. It was right on Route 2.
It's on the, yeah.
Yeah, but,
so
and they're saying they would advertise like for businesses in our town and so on. My opinion is it's not gonna do us any good whatsoever. I mean,
I actually have it right here, the criteria. Arts, creation of work, crafts, performing, visual, media, folk. Humanities are types of learning that deal with human values and aspirations, blah, blah, blah. And then science. Those are the three key things for arts, humanities, and science for the qualification criteria part of it. If you go further up, one's arts, humanities, sciences. Number 2, public benefit. 3, non-discrimination, and 4, local criteria. So I would start with 1. Does it meet part number 1 of the criteria, which is arts, humanities, and sciences?
No.
I think people stop there to use the restroom more than anything.
I guess from a science point of view, history, I guess history and science are
Okay.
probably together. Maybe
So
it's
humanities, maybe?
humanities I think of as something, but
Have we worked with this in group before? Okay.
No.
I personally just don't see a direct benefit at this time for
Yeah.
our town.
I agree.
I I would be interested to find out if they have some sort of signage that says these projects are sponsored by.
Well, they have to.
Right, but is that kind of part of the, would there be an effort to showcase towns, and basically if we gave them $200, is that worth-
$1,000. Oh, you mean take it down from 1,000?
Oh, yeah, not
Okay,
a
but-
1,000.
Yeah, there's no
Okay.
way.
This is 39,831.
Yeah, so I just wondered if,
Yeah, their total project expenses is $30,000, and they're asking for $1,000.
right,
Most
which
of
they're
the
probably asking 30 towns for
Yeah,
30,000
most of the-
for
More
More
$1,000.
than, I bet you more than that.
Most of the visitor centers usually have like brochures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like you stop there to get a coffee or use the bathroom or whatever. You can check out local,
Mm-hmm.
things to do where you are, traveling down Route 2. Would they be putting stuff from but where in Hubbardston?
And
Who has
Hubbardston doesn't have, yeah, right.
So to follow up with your question, does it directly impact Hubbardston unless there's signage or some sort of recognition that we gave them money? I don't think it would directly
There is a
impact us.
requirement that if you get a grant
Okay.
from us, you have to put up signage saying that Mass Cultural Council and which town you got
Okay.
the dollars from.
So the next question would be, is there any information in here on how that gets presented?
No, usually it's
Okay.
the only way we found out is one of us attends something and sees how they're doing it or not doing it.
Okay.
Usually you're not given that information up front. That's a,
Yeah. My only fear would be is we give them the money, they put us a little 10-point blurb on a big sign, and we get lost in the noise.
And I do think, this is it's a large area that they're looking at with many attractions. And in thinking more about it, I don't see where we would gain a lot of benefit from it.
I personally have only stopped at that place once
Yeah.
in the 18 years I've been here.
Right, I stop there occasionally just to use the
I think-
bathroom.
Yeah,
or
I think we've been there
use
3
my
times
phone.
in the almost 50 years. With
Yeah, and we jumping back and forth, Fitchburg, Leominster, even to Boston down Route 2, and
Yeah.
we've never.
Right,
Except
yeah,
once, I think. Yeah.
we're always going through there, and no, I just know it as, oh, I can stop there and text
If-
if
yeah.
I need to send somebody a message. And I think to determine more of what that would actually do for us, again, I think that would take some effort. So should we say that that's a no?
I don't think it has enough benefit for the town of Hubbardston,
Yeah.
personally.
I
I
don't think so
really
either.
do not.
Yeah.
And that is one of the criteria that we put in our priorities, is
Yeah.
that it has to bring some value to our town. And I don't see this as doing that much, but
I'll second that.
Yep, okay, all right, so that's a no. All right. The next one is the Fitchburg Art Museum. I do think that that's a good thing to support. We've been supporting them for the past few years. I think for the amount that they're asking, I do think that that's appropriate and I would support that. Even though it's not directly Hubbardston, but I think it is the local art museum and that one I would support.
I can get swayed from the point of view that it's something that is in the arts. That excites me. How much Hubbardston people go to it. I guess is it free admission?
No, I'm sure they charge, but it could be something where you can probably get a pass at the library.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Can our library be supplied with passes to go to this event?
I don't know. Libraries often have such things. I don't know. I can.
It'll be in the larger thing, cost per person. I should go and see if I can bring these up.
Usually the passes are reoccurring every year, like DCR passes.
Right, yeah.
Museums. I don't know if it's for specific events. Typically, they don't do specific events unless you point out to the group there. Hey,
Right.
we're anticipating this. Can you
It's going to take me longer to log in than
Right.
it will to do anything else.
Well, maybe we should, we can think about that, or,
Yes, why don't we see what we have for dollars at the end?
Right.
Categorically speaking, I think it qualifies. It's not direct to us, impact to us, but yeah. So dollar amount, I think, will be the next thing to look at for that.
right?
Okay.
So we'll give that a maybe?
Yeah.
Yep.
So if I put in the 800 and the 200, trying to keep track of where we might be money-wise?
Yeah,
Yeah,
That
okay,
would be
that's
good.
what I'm doing.
okay, yeah.
Okey-dokey.
That's that.
Kelly's Music, is that the next one?
Yeah.
That's the new gentleman that reached out to me.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, very, he's fairly new, I think, and fairly new in Hubbardston. Very, passionate about what he is interested in doing. He did ask the million-dollar question of how much, do you give me the whole amount? I said, we don't know. I said, don't know if we would award, and we often are interested in awarding, but sometimes we do not have the full amount that you potentially would be looking for.
May I ask what's the number that you're reading on for
Number
41091.
Oh, yeah.
9-1? Okay, so Kelly Shepard.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But he's running a music school instruction in Littleton, Mass. And he's looking at doing more of that locally here.
did
And
you talk about a cost to the kids?
And I think eventually there would be a cost for kids. He's just talking about a one-time workshop. I think this is just for a one-time workshop. I do not think that this is just to get people interested and put on a program for children.
Is this for all grades or just specific?
I think it's,
5
5 to 18,
it
he
says
says.
here.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to, advertise to get people to maybe, if they see this show, they get interested and maybe want to play an instrument or something?
Oh, this
Is this the
show.
fellow you talked to?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And of course, I'm looking at, I thought it was a woman.
I did too, for some reason.
Yeah, no, it's a
guy.
gentleman.
Yeah.
But they perform all over the place and things like that. But he doesn't quite know the area very well and things like that. And I told him I'm not the greatest resource in terms of everything here. I said, because I work away from Hubbardston all week, and I'm just kind of a bedroom community person here. But I found him to be very positive and things like that. I think I would be interested in sponsoring it. but not for that money.
Not for that amount.
I
I
would
think
think
there are
maybe about-
several things to keep us going, keep him in the running. The fact that it's Hubbardston related
Yeah.
Yeah.
entirely. The money that's a third of our budget.
Yeah.
So I say yes, and we figure out the dollars later.
Yep.
Just
So I'm not
keep them
gonna-
on, don't knock them off the list.
No.
Right.
But should I add the 1,200 or?
No, I want it.
Do you
I-
want to say tentatively like 600?
Sounds good to me.
Just to kind of keep us,
Yeah.
and then we could see if we're able to do more or able to do less.
Sure.
But I felt that where he was a local person
Right.
Yeah.
We
and
should
wanted to
consider-
bring more music education to
Yeah.
the area and
Right.
things like that, I thought
It's
it was
very encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was nice to get some applications from different people. I thought that was very exciting. So, and he called me. I mean, he went out of his way to call
Find
and
you.
asked a lot of questions, and so anyway, yeah. So that's yes for $600, but we'll see where our money
Right,
lies.
because maybe we could give them more.
Right. Then number 6, and that's grant application 42688, is Patrick Smith, An Afternoon of Brass in Worcester. I believe that's the one in Worcester.
Didn't he say mechanics?
Yes.
Mechanics or Boston.
Yeah,
somewhere
that's in Boston.
No, Mechanics Hall's in
No,
Worcester.
no,
Yeah,
Old
no.
South Church or Mechanics
It
Hall.
was one or
Right.
the other.
Right. And I said, no.
I said no.
I said no.
Jonathan? We can't get people to come to
Right.
Hubbardston for anything. They're not gonna go.
Right.
Okay,
to
this is the
Mechanics
guy I
Hall.
was trying to figure out what we've done with him before.
Yeah.
The next one.
Did we have something for him before?
Yes.
Did he perform for us at like the library or the senior center?
I don't know if it was, I'll have to look him up again. I don't know, remember if it was before our time. 2018, which we did not grant him, we did not grant him, we
Right.
did not grant him.
Because I've thought we've turned him down before.
2016 and earlier, he's been granted money, so he hasn't been in Hubbardston. Received a grant from Hubbardston since 2016.
We never granted him money.
No,
No.
we never granted. A crew before us did. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, he says he did.
He's never. I haven't been as interested in his what he's offering as I have been in other performers. Also, he's
But this is definitely towards kids, which is, a plus. It's not a performer for adult, which is kind of nice. I've got kids every age group, but he says he'd perform at the town school, library, senior center, fair, festival, any of these
wherever,
places.
This is John Porcino.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he would be he'd be in Hubbardston, so it's a benefit that it's something that maybe we should see if the town does like him. See what he has to offer this year. I don't know. I don't know if there's anybody we can reach out to who would remember him.
I do think this is very similar to his other grant applications. I don't see that he's particularly particularly directing towards Hubbardston.
Well, the location he said would be in Hubbardston.
Right, but I think he applies to many towns to do this.
But that's okay, I think.
It's okay. I
I think a lot of people have to do that to make a living.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's kind of like, it just doesn't totally appeal to me, but if we want to think about it.
I guess I'd like to think about it further.
You can target a school and not necessarily like a library or something else if you,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Should we come back to that one?
I think we have to put a maybe and go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to find out more. Maybe he's got a link to a website
Mm-hmm.
that we can look at and find out more about him as an entertainer. Again, my reason for keeping him would have been, again, he's talking about being willing to come to Hubbardston and do an event, which, you know, is admirable.
Where's Hubbardston again?
I'm sorry?
Where's Hubbardston again?
Yeah.
That's right.
Next one?
I think that's no,
I had
unless we get
Such high hopes, but
more
I
information.
was hoping that we would have an reimbursement form for them. We have not. So usually when you get a reimbursement form, they'll tell you what they did or
when
there's
they
some
did
info
it
and
So
stuff.
this is a repeat then?
This is a repeat that we
And no
granted last
reimbursement?
year.
Okay.
And
And
we
she never-
funded him what last year? Do you have the number?
And no, it might have been, well, she's
think we
asking
gave them-
800, but it was less than that maybe.
It was definitely
Yeah, I
less
have
than
Maybe
that.
that.
six-ish. I should
I
probably-
have it here.
Oh, you do?
Let's see. What's
Oh,
his
that's
name?
Well, it's Donna
Clear
Bulger.
Path.
Yeah.
This is the $464 guy.
Oh, that's right, that's right,
Um,
that's right.
So he was, I think our supportive veterans had, our love to do something to support veterans was something that kept this organization as an interest to us. We really need some feedback as to how things went before we're going to support them again with another grant, I think. So I think they're a question mark or a no until, I mean, we have, being Donna and Bill, have reached out to try to get some feedback from them and had no success.
Yeah, and then I thought maybe the contact person changed, but it's the same person that we were trying to reach that applied for the grant. So I guess
That's a
she's
shame.
still, yeah, she's still the contact person. She just doesn't like to contact anybody.
I don't know whether it's worth one last ditch chance to make a phone call to them as
Yeah,
opposed to
yeah.
an email and find out
I
more.
was thinking maybe I'd just go online and see if they have any kind of web presence.
Oh,
or
they do.
anything like that.
Last year they did.
That we looked at that last
Yes,
year, I think,
yeah.
didn't we? Yeah.
We'll check.
But what did they accomplish in the
Yeah,
past year?
yeah.
I haven't looked at their website since. Maybe it's been updated and has some more information. So maybe checking the website
Yeah,
or
grants at Clear Path.
a direct phone call. But it doesn't bode well
No.
to give them more money when we haven't been able to find out if they've done anything, if if we've sponsored them in theory, and have they put up signage in their classes saying we're sponsoring them, or it just doesn't leave a really good feel for doing it again this year.
So we didn't give them the money from the last,
No, not until they perform. Do we
correct,
give them
and
the
then
money.
you couldn't get the feedback.
Right.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
It is, because it sounds like a great program potentially.
No.
Yeah, well,
Do we want to follow up more, or do we want to just nix it?
I would like to
Look
at least
more.
like go on their website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, tonight we're just trying to figure out if
Right.
there are things that are going away totally.
Right,
Yep.
yeah. I would like to go on their website and
Okay.
see. Could we skip number 9
Sure.
for right now and keep moving on?
Yep.
Would that be okay? I'm always a big fan of our friend the Potter. I think I think he's engaging. I think he's there. He's ready to go. He brings all his stuff in.
I would agree 100%.
Yeah,
It's arts,
I would give him a solid yes.
Yeah.
He's just there and he's ready to go. So I would say yes for him. Then the Listening Center. Jonathan, are you familiar with the Listening Center? In the listening, it's called Listening Wellness Center.
It
Is that-
used to be. They've changed their name.
again.
Yes.
But they're located right in Barry, and they do programs. They do a whole variety of wellness programs for
Is
adults
this
and children.
that large house on the left if you're heading towards the middle school,
Yes,
high school?
yeah.
Yes, I've been in there before.
Yeah.
On a couple open houses we visited them.
Oh,
yes.
nice.
That was, I think, 8 years ago.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
my impression was that they were great in what they had to offer for services, and yeah.
And they have always been extremely responsive
Mm-hmm.
to any questions we've asked. We've asked them in the past, can you tell us how many children you're serving and things like
From
that.
Hubbardston in particular.
Yep.
Whatever.
This is
Again,
4131.
this grant, though, is for an adult program.
There's an adult one and then
Okay.
there's a children one.
There's 2 grants? for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they requested 2.
11 and 12, okay.
Right. My initial impression, and I think this is the way we voted last year, was I wasn't too supportive, and I think last year we were not supportive of the adult program, but we were supportive of some monies for the children's program.
Right. And
think
if we
that's
want
where
to
we
talk
went.
about the children's program, with their reimbursement request, she sent a ton of information.
Wow.
oh, you did get something.
Oops, that's my personal.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God. This needs to go somewhere else. Anyways, what is this? No, this is the listening wellness.
Did we determine there were enough kids from town that
There were
benefited?
in the past, and I think they were willing to put dollars towards Hubbardston children who were partaking in the program. I mean, I looked through this once, it was a little while ago. I guess I would really like to support the children's program.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. I will say though, given the dollar amount, their cost of participation is itemized, or how do they say it? Per
Per diem, or
Per diem.
not per diem, that's per day.
Yeah, so we don't give them the full amount. They're still going to be able to benefit from whatever we do give them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Given our budget for the year,
right.
you know, I would still like to.
For the children's program?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to recommend that we do not fund the adult, but that we fund the children's program, but at a potentially less money, depending on where our other grants come out.
Yeah. The only thing that I would say maybe in defense of supporting the adult program would be there are a lot more adults in stress, in what's the word? In need of help due to COVID, and a lot of other things that have been triggers and sidelines due to COVID or whatever. So a program supporting adults is interesting. There is, though, in town, a wellness center. I mean, we have the one that's run by Lori,
Right, yeah.
which is a little bit closer for people to attend, and she has all kinds of wellness programs. She doesn't apply for a grant that people could potentially take advantage of.
I would be, and thank you for mentioning that, because in the line of work I do, the ability to find mental health help for people is ridiculous.
Right.
There is none.
Right.
And so what I would do, and I can reach out to them, is see if they have what I would be specifically interested in what they are offering for mental health, and
That would be perfect.
and how they put that information out there. Because I know when I'm referring people or suggesting places to go, I don't even think of this, and we certainly have patients in this area. So I would be willing to reach out and ask
That would be,
about the mental health.
that's all I would appreciate. I mean,
No, that's great.
I have friends, that I'm watching struggle, and
Oh, it's
Horribly.
It's bad.
and
But I would be interested in doing that and then getting back
yes.
to the
Is
group
that okay
and
with everybody?
seeing. Like I said, I would want to see what they're offering, if there's a charge, if there's a remote option for people who
I
can't
think
get
there
there.
was.
I think they do generally have remote options.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to change my mind on that and put a
Yeah,
hold on it for
I'll
right
change
now.
my mind too. I think that's what we found though last time, was there was a charge for any of the programs
I
they
think there
had.
is.
Mhm.
I think we just need to explore them more and see whether, if we give them any money, would they be able to help support a Hubbardston resident with, it's not a scholarship, but a sliding scale or something.
Right, and see what the
Um,
price is and also what the availability is. That's
Well,
a
it
big
says here in the
issue.
children's section here, I go back to the adult one, but the children is $29 per student, and they're asking for $12 of that $29. So I can go back to the adult version. It's probably similar. I don't know if the numbers are the same, but it's partial cost per person, not total cost per person. Almost like they're subsidizing,
Right.
somebody's registration.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess, it's not necessarily totally clear. I mean, yoga, osteoporosis. I'm more interested, I guess, personally in seeing if we can help people who are in need of help.
Yeah, because my guess is that the place right here in town, they probably charge full freight dollar, would be my guess.
They do a sliding scale,
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
That's good.
if need be.
Right.
Yeah, so it's class fee will depend on the program, series, individual, etc. Now $5 for senior, yoga $10 for others. So it says for yoga it's $5 or $10 depending on the classification, but doesn't say anything about any other program.
Right, the mindfulness program and stress anxiety reduction would be workshops that I think would be worth learning more about.
Yeah. So I'll reach out and ask them some questions and
Okay.
what is it you offer, Hubbardston?
They're going to be wonderful. They're always great to
Right.
talk to.
Yeah, so I'll reach out to them about that.
Thank you.
So we'll say, we'll give that, both of these, I think, are worthwhile. We just don't know about the money right now.
Agreed.
And we'll continue on that. Then Matt York, who I saw at Field Day, I did think he was pretty good. As I said before, I wasn't sure if that was the best venue for his
Right.
for
Now I
his
remember.
for his performance. What I was interested in potentially was potentially marrying him to the possibility of a concert series in Hubbardston.
That's an interesting idea. I like that.
So I'm
Why don't we
interested in
table
bringing him
that
back, but I that is something that I would be interested in seeing if we could maybe bring that together.
So you're talking about maybe Katie's? I see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe this and maybe.
And just in terms of time, we're a little before 8 o'clock right now, so just so everybody knows where we're at. If everybody's okay with that?
Yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna get through all of it.
Right, and I
because-
didn't know, like,
Yeah, my husband's sitting in the car with no heat, so
okay.
I told him come in.
You left him in
I-
the cold?
I did, and I told him come in. He says, then you'll feel self-conscious. And I was like, no. I
Oh
said,
my
you can
God.
hide behind the admin desk.
Great.
Anyways, so if we go a little bit further would be great, and then schedule another session. Is that okay with
Yeah.
everybody?
Did
Oh, yeah.
and I'm supposed to know these things. Did I schedule another date
Yes.
in October?
No,
November.
not in
November.
October.
Did I in November?
Yes.
Yes.
I did in November.
Yes, like
Okay.
the 20th or
14, oh,
17th or
something, well, I've got it here
Yeah, I'm getting
somewhere.
there.
I gotta fill in my password and get there.
I'm like, did I do that?
You did. You were great.
I mean, I was trying
No.
to.
8th, no?
Not the 17th.
No, no, that's not the 17th,
Oh.
definitely.
Let me go
That's a
back.
different appointment.
No,
Look on
I
the
don't have
20th.
it.
No, not a 20th.
It'd be a Thursday, right?
Yeah, I think I spread them all over the place.
Okay.
I
Just
was.
sprinkled in everywhere.
I sprinkled around. Monday, November 14th,
Oh, 14th.
There it is.
Okay.
Monday, okay.
which
Yep, there it
is not in the scheme of things, not that far away. But with Donna being out of town, you go away around November 27th, Donna.
Right after Thanksgiving.
Right. Jonathan, like, the week of the 31st
November?
of October. Do you, I think you're the one with the busiest of the evening schedules. Do you want to get back to us what might work for you that week?
I can do Monday, 31st.
Halloween.
Oh,
Halloween.
There's
Yeah.
gonna
Oh,
Actually-
no.
No,
No,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
be, I'm gonna be walking Main Street here.
Right, yeah, no, I don't think we want to
Oh,
be here on
yeah,
the
I
31st.
guess the boss would be angry with me on that one.
Right, yeah, but, potentially Wednesday the 2nd or Thursday the 3rd? Do those have any?
Wednesday is tough for me. I have
Okay.
scouts.
Okay.
Thursday, yeah, I could do Thursday.
Okay, let's look
The
at,
library trustee means that night too.
okay,
Is that your Morgan is
Yes.
involved with them?
Yeah, she's on the trustee board.
okay.
So 6:30 that night.
Yes, I will, reach out to the town and see if there's any problems having a meeting that night. But I think that would be, I think keep the additional meeting as well.
Yes.
But I think we need to,
Let me check the calendar.
oh, that'd be great, Donna, thank you.
We could always split the library in half, right? I'm just kidding.
Seriously, yeah, do they meet here?
They meet at the library.
Oh, okay.
But there could be another meeting, I think.
Oh,
because
yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a lot
they-
of different,
I mean, there's technically 2 rooms there. We could.
Right, yeah. And there's the little tiny room in the town basement,
Yeah.
but,
If you want to take over the clerk's area.
Do you see anything there, Donna?
Nothing at night, no.
Okay, all right, I'll reach out.
So
Okay.
November 3rd then.
All right, thank you. I just think that would be good, because we still have, miles to go here, and people get,
But we're making good progress.
we're doing really well. When we're done, do we just turn this off? Do we hit a
She's
button?
next door, so we probably
But just
could
knock
tell.
on the door and let her know that we're done.
I would, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she peeked in a minute ago to see if we're still here.
Oh, okay, all right. So the next one is, Bernadette Stockwell and Do Your Art. It was a little unclear, but my initial take on it was that it was a video production that wasn't really something that would be appropriate.
It sounds
that
like
was
there's a
useful.
portion that can be Zoom. She first says there's a 90-minute live information. I didn't know that was going to be a Zoom.
I think the whole thing is a Zoom.
Yeah, I put virtual
Okay.
there. and
Okay.
The big old X right next to it.
So, Zoom workshop. So, yeah, it's a Zoom workshop.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, seriously?
target audience, general public, doesn't say if it's a specific age or
Yeah.
demographic. Program tailored for hopeful creatives, makers, and artists of all genres looking to expand their creativity, bring more culture to their own town. I don't know what. It just says 90-minute live informational and interactive workshop.
Yeah.
But what are you doing?
That's basically taped, and then you can watch it maybe if you can find it on. Is it local
Right.
cable? It must
Right.
be on local cable.
Well,
and-
it's going to be live though, so it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a big question mark. Just it sounds somewhat interesting to me because sometimes if you're an artist, you need a boost, and with COVID, a lot of people have had trouble getting
Right.
restarted.
Yeah.
But it's it's vague enough that I don't know. I just.
It says participants will be motivated to complete projects and learn how to sorry, I just clicked over. Okay, they provided the itemized expenses for their project. So $350 for presenters compensation, IT assistance $100, Zoom registration and technology $169, marketing, advertising, promotional costs $100, supplies and materials $100. And then in the description, makers artists often called. No, again, it doesn't say what it is
What
what they're doing in the Zoom session.
Well, the last line kind of says, participants will be motivated to complete projects and learn how art makes them feel happier.
Okay, but I want to know what that is.
Yeah, and it's
Personally.
very subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt
I'm not
that
sure what the
based
program-
on our criteria, it wasn't specifically Hubbardston. The impression I get is that this is someone who does these projects in many areas, and I just wasn't sure how how we were going to get the information out and what audience this was targeting. I did not feel that this was a good fit for us. My initial impression was, no, thank you.
I had a question mark, and I just put, it sounds interesting to me, but I don't know what it is. So, it's vague enough that I can't figure out the true benefit that Hubbardston people are going to have. So, maybe either we research it more or pass, one or the other.
My initial gut was pass.
Okay.
And I think, Donna, that was yours?
Yeah, definitely a pass.
Out of
Yeah.
24 applications.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, and we actually have more now.
Yep.
You weren't here for the great COVID year where we had 10 applications we were given.
Who else can we give money to?
It got a little ridiculous, so it's very nice. moving on, so we're gonna just take that one away. Moving on to David Malouf, and Lori, I really appreciated the information, the additional information about the fair, because I went to the fair and saw him and felt that he was kind of out in left field and not really findable. And it sounds like that may have been a choice on his part, which was an interesting
Oh.
choice.
I spoke with Katie, and she mentioned that she didn't even know he was there. If she had known he was there, she would have definitely announced him and made it known. He wasn't in the spot she had selected for him,
Oh.
so that led her to believe he was a no-show. I think that kind of wipes out some of the concerns we had, because I think if we still think he has value to our residents, and it sounds like he does, what our concerns were last year are something that need to be worked out outside of this group.
Yeah, given the group's comments from previous venues he's done, rave reviews, I missed him that day. I would like to know the decision for left field. If there was a challenge that he was trying to work out. What was going on with that?
Yeah, I mean, he was pleasant. He was approachable. He just was way outside. The other thing I think is that for people going to the fair, people going to field day, I think my impression is that people kind of go through and they go, oh, I've seen you before, I haven't seen you before, things like that. And I do feel he may be somebody that we've seen. I think we've sponsored him at least twice.
He has other programs though, and I'd be really curious as to what some of the other programs are that he does, because they also, if he's engaging, he's probably very engaging in these other areas, and he says we can pick what he's going to do. So he's willing to be at the Hubbardston Fair. Maybe we'd have to work with him and figure out if we're doing another ukulele thing or something else,
I think
and
something
keep
else.
him in the loop, because and give a footnote to him that there was a concern about coordinating the fact that he was at the event at all. Otherwise, he would have been announced frequently during the day.
Right. I just wonder if perhaps he's more appropriate for maybe people who come to the senior center or something like that, rather than a field day or a fair. So I think he's solidly, we'll think about it. I think if
It
we...
sounds like he's willing to do other locations too, so why don't we leave him on the list, since we know?
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, ukuleles at a field day event or a fair day event with a bandstand playing behind you.
Is...
It's challenging. He has to coordinate, so he's not working the same time they are, and
Yeah.
so I could see there be technical challenges with operating a venue like that.
Yeah.
And that may have been why he was in left field.
Yep,
So,
I'm sure there was a reason for it, and we just need to make sure
yep.
what that is.
Yeah.
So we're going to say yes, we'll just work with him, because I think Bill worked with him to work out a lot of details about...
He did, yeah.
I think he's very amenable to doing whatever we want. So, and he's not that expensive either.
Well, he's $450. He's $400.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely keep that in the loop. Henry Lappin, I think in a short period of time is very good. I know he interacted with your family. I barely saw him at the fair.
He's only there for an hour.
He's only there for an hour, and I saw him walking around, and I was suddenly like, I think that's the juggler guy, but I didn't see him interacting. I know Katie got video of him interacting, which I used, but I'm not feeling very positive about him returning. I think $450 for 1 hour in, out, gone, goodbye is...
Yeah, I only saw him do one pass. He did interact with my children, and he was excellent with the children.
Right.
I'll give him credit for that. But for the cost for 1 hour and what he did last time, if the price came down
That would
that would
be,
represent an hour, then I would...
do you
you
have
know.
a breakdown of his time, how he comes up with $450? Is it all his personal expense, or is he putting in travel time, or,
I can put that in.
It says a workshop, it says there is loads of audience interaction throughout this hilarious show. A workshop follows where participants can learn some of the skills they have just witnessed. The whole program lasts an hour and will take place at the fair next June.
He's got a single line item called performer's fee on the budget.
so that's something that's negotiable, probably.
Yeah, especially for 1 hour.
Yeah, so if, I like the feedback that you can give us, that he was great with your kids,
Yeah.
and that's, not everybody can be great with kids. So,
That first year we've sponsored him twice, I think. The first year he was right in front of the bandstand gazebo. I know they don't like one or the other names. Is it a gazebo or a bandstand? It's a bandstand, I think.
That would have been a question
Yeah.
for...
He was really good. I mean, he did juggling, and he even, he performed, and he even had the kids up there working with them, and he was showing them how to do certain things. And it wasn't until after that he walked around on the
Right,
stilts.
and that's what I was expecting, because I was there, and
You didn't see any of the performance at the...
No. I
No,
just caught
I
him walking
suddenly-
around in the vendor area, and that was it.
right, I suddenly was aware, and I was like, I think that's the guy, because I was specifically
well, yeah,
looking for him.
yeah.
And he was just, I think a non-positive comment would be, it looked like somebody who was maybe phoning it in and hoping to leave soon.
Oh,
And so I'm not very positive about bringing him back. But, $200 maybe. But for his full fee, I just felt that we weren't really getting a
enough
great...
bang for the buck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, if you look at like the crop dusters, they're $600 and you get a real big bang for a big amount of people and sound. My husband was up at Mount Jeff. He was up at Dottie Rock. He could hear every
them?
word up
Wow.
at Dottie Rock. But that's $600 for like 4 or 5 people for like 2 or 3 hours of a performance.
Yeah.
And he's looking for $450 for
an hour.
maybe.
So what's, Jonathan, what would you, I'm really curious as to what your thoughts are.
The dollar amount is not right. I think if the dollar amount comes down, I would consider it.
We've never had anybody turn us down for a dollar amount. My only concern would be, would that mean he's only here 15 minutes? I'd be willing to offer him less, and he might say he can't do it for that much. We've never had it happen, but he could say that,
Right.
but we could offer him less.
I would be willing to offer him $250. But I would, my initial on my jog through was no. but.
I definitely hear you. Why don't we try with the lesser amount, either 200 or 250?
Sure.
Which,
I got 200.
200, that's what was my gut feel, is 200. And if he can't do it, the program, then we have that $200 next year to put towards something.
Sure. So he wouldn't be denied, he would be awarded a grant, but we would tell him it would be $200.
Right, Donna
Yeah.
has done the letters in the past, and that's what she would.
And so if he doesn't want to do it for $200, it's upon him to tell us that?
I would
I-
imagine.
And then
yes.
we get the money back?
It'll become unencumbered money, which will go into the next year. We have had several programs that haven't been able to be performed,
Okay,
and that money rolls into the next year.
okay, all right. Why don't we do Uniquely Quabbin and then call it a night?
Yes, okay, that sounds great.
I'm a
Yes, I'm a
Yeah,
yes.
I'm just a great fan of this organization. I think they do a beautiful job. I think
I'm amazed that they put out such a beautiful quality
yeah.
production piece of
Mm-hmm.
it's just really well put together.
Yeah.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
but their total cost is $30,766.
Yeah,
For
I'm
the
not sure
year.
where
I
else
mean,
they're getting
that's-
grants from.
Well-
I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I know in the past, I think in the COVID year, we did give them additional funding.
Yes, we probably did.
Are they targeting Hubbardston specifically for this?
No, it's all towns of North Quabbin.
The
Okay.
thing is, though, that in the past we have talked about, just have not gotten around to it. It is a place where we could put ads of, and we've seen them in the Quabbin Regional Magazine, which say what programs are coming up that we have supported, and that's another place kind of for advertising.
Mm-hmm.
So we just have never taken advantage of it.
I think their publishing timeline is.
That's- yeah,
It was
that's part of the
2 months, at
problem,
least
yeah.
minimum 2 months before,
Yeah.
and they only come out 3 times a year
Mm-hmm.
or something. Was it twice or 3?
I think it's 4.
I think.
Oh,
It's
Isn't
3 or
it
4.
quarterly? I
3 or
think it's
4.
quarterly.
it might say quarterly. It says
think so.
quarterly. Oh no, it
Does
says
it?
Well, Uniquely Quabbin. It says.
Yeah,
I thought
think
that was
it's
quarterly.
For some reason.
Where do they hold the venue?
Oh,
There's
it's a
no venue.
magazine.
Oh, it's a
just-
magazine,
It's
I'm
a
sorry.
magazine.
You find it at the Country
library has
Hen,
it.
the library.
Okay.
I actually found it at Market Basket in Athol one day.
Mm-hmm.
You just pick it up locally, and it's a lovely publication.
Right, there's a lot of interesting little stories in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 issues of the magazine, January and May. Maybe
That's
they've
it?
cut back.
Oh,
Really?
oh yeah.
Maybe I
it's
read
for
that
2
wrong.
issues of yeah, that's it, January and
Oh
May.
wow!
So they have cut back. Wow.
Which makes your deadlines if you wanted to
Yeah.
actually
Oh,
get-
wow.
But they do
Crazy.
have a page where they do say all the
Mhm.
cultural councils
Right.
that support them, which they have always included us. So
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they've got the budget line items pretty well broken out here. Editor, distribution, printing, contingency, it's all
printing,
Yeah.
what's the printing cost?
$7,800 per issue for a total of 2 issues. January 23rd and May
And that's not
23rd.
it's not like a flimsy. It's got a substantial amount of pages in it.
Mm-hmm. It's really quite nice.
Okay.
So I'm a yes on that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I almost think we can do the next 2 because I think they're probably.
I think the
a
next
given.
2 are pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis is back.
Yes.
I think Dennis is very cute. Does he just reach out to the senior center on his own?
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I would give Jonathan, this is Dennis Cormier. He's a lovely man. He used to perform with his brother. They perform at the senior center. They're very goofy and dear, but then the brother
passed,
died,
yeah.
and then his wife died.
Yeah.
Dennis's wife died. And so, but Dennis is holding tough, and Dennis asks for $150, and I'm
He
like,
said he would do it for nothing, so,
right, I'm a big,
yeah.
I think it's.
He's engaging.
He
I
is,
mean,
yeah.
Don and I had one, and he was
Yeah.
definitely, he was dressed up
Yeah.
as Elvis at one point
Right,
or
I think I
something.
still have
Probably
pictures.
the worst Elvis impersonator we've ever seen, but it was good.
It's very
It was
dear.
very funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess we have a warm spot in our, he comes to Hubbardston,
Yeah.
and the other one is the crop dusters, and they're asking for $600 for
Field day.
field day, and we know you get your money's worth, I guess, with them.
I think last year they actually asked for more,
Much
and
more.
I think we gave them $600
Oh,
last year. I
Right, so
think
they're
is-
probably, yes, they're probably asking for what they know we'll be able to afford.
yeah.
Okay.
And they were, I thought they were really good. I mean, like I said, if I was having a wedding or something, I would be like, can you come? So those are, so we have, just on this last little round through, on Henry the Juggler, we're going to offer him $200. Uniquely Quabbin Magazine, we're going to do what they've requested at $250. Crop dusters, we're going to move forward on that, and we're going to move forward on Dennis Cormier.
Yep. And that'll be our breaking point.
Yep. And then, and I need to, I didn't check back in, so I haven't looked at the additional applications that
Yeah,
came in.
with our Lions Club, 3 from the Lions Club, the last.
And
And they're
we'll
reasonable.
circle back
Yeah.
around with Katie and her grant.
Yes,
Or application, sorry.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And.
Does anybody have any interest in seeing, I guess this is maybe for Jonathan, in having a electronic copy of the grants that have been awarded in the past or not awarded or applied for?
Yep.
Does anybody else want, or are you?
No, I think I kind of know in my head.
Yeah,
Do you want me to just email you? Do you
Sure,
want a
go for it.
PDF or would you like a worksheet?
Just a worksheet, that's fine.
Okay, Excel worksheet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
That
not
way you
gonna be
can.
republishing or anything.
No,
Don't worry
no,
about it,
it's
yeah.
just, I would want a worksheet so I can play with it.
Yeah,
That's all.
exactly, yep.
PDF, it's kind of, I can't manipulate the way I want.
and we are about halfway through our money, 3325 is what I have.
Okay.
Putting in kind of the partial amounts and,
Yeah, and
So-
the last
Okay.
few we have are gonna be the bigger,
They're going to be bigger
bigger amounts, so,
budget items
yeah.
anyway.
but the 3 Lions Club ones are not a ton
It was
of money.
kind of nice,
Yeah.
yeah.
so it gives us a little wiggle room there, right? So-
Yep.
Yeah. And I will reach out to the town about, and the senior center, about our next meeting on November 3rd. I will, and I'm just doing this so I'll remember. I'm gonna reach out to our contact at the Mass Cultural Center Council about our current membership numbers. And I will, reach out to the Listening and Wellness Center to find out
Yes.
what kind of,
Yeah,
programs.
I mean,
they have
if it
for
doesn't
adults.
sound like it's something that would really be viable or useful to our town members, then, but I'd like to hear more about,
Yeah, and it raises an excellent point because we cannot find mental health help for our patients for nothing. It's really hard right now. There's just not. And so that really, thank you for mentioning that because I was like, oh, yes.
I have a friend who's gone to the hospital several times suicidal.
Oh, boy.
And they've sent him home.
Oh, boy.
Just sent him home. Said, asked him, are you gonna hurt yourself? No.
No,
But
so you go home.
He's very open about the fact that he's deeply depressed and he's can't handle being here anymore, and the hospitals. It's not your. It's a different.
Don't worry, it's all hospitals.
It's just kind of sad. So, if there are more places that people can
access.
Yeah, I'm all for
Yeah,
it.
the access is very not good right now. Okay, so do we
Get her.
push a button or we
No,
just?
she said she would come in and take care of it.
Well, thank you all for your time and attention.
Thank you, Sarah. You were
Thank
doing a
you.
good job.
Yeah.
I'm making
Thank
it
you
up.
for taking my call today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, that's okay. That's absolutely fine. And I'll reach out to this person again who has reached out to us a couple of times.
And I'll
Uh,
try to check on the Veterans Project
Thank you.
one more
Good
time.
luck.
No kidding.
And
That's just-
tell our former chairman I
Yeah.
miss him terribly.
So we should adjourn the meeting.
The meeting is now adjourned.